No problem.
Lights are on. Ready to roll? All right. So we'll wait. We won't wait for the ones that are actually going to come in and get their meals, but we'll get started because it's all about time. So this is Kevin. I think most of you actually know him. So he's the owner of KW Fitness. I love his topic because I think we all deal with stress. I've actually experienced a little bit of these guys at their facility. Kicked my hiney, but that's okay. So welcome to Core. Thank you for coming. I'm hoping that you're all enjoying your meals, and we're going to get started.
Very good.
Come on in.
Hello. Wait for you guys. I want to give them a sheet and a pen. Yep. All right, good evening, everybody. Again, my name is Kevin Webb. I am the owner of KW Fitness. We are located on Old Vestal Road over by Matthews Kia Subaru, for those of you who do not know. And then alongside me up there is Brandon Baker. He's one of our trainers, as well as our corporate wellness manager. So him and I do these talks at businesses, as well as here at CoreLife tonight. So tonight we're going to be talking about stress management, emotional wellness in a busy world. So anyone here have any stressors in life at all? Maybe 1 or 2 or 10, or maybe they're here with you, I don't know. We're going to be talking about a lot with exercise. We're not going to be talking a whole lot about fitness tonight, more of the mental side of things and how to navigate stress through kind of holistic practices. I like this board a lot. I'm going to do this. All right, so we're going to get right into it. Everyone has all the slides. Jot it down on your paper, and then we can go through those at the end, and we'll feel free to take any of your questions. So there are a lot of benefits of reducing stress. Number one, greater productivity, especially like in the workplace. Stress wreaks havoc on how productive you are. If you have more stress, you're less likely to, be task-oriented and stick to what you're doing because you're worried about all these different stressors in life. You're having more energy. Stress brings your energy levels to rock bottom most of the time. So it's important to have energy to do things that you like to do throughout the day. Great job satisfaction, better sleep. Anyone here struggle with sleep at all? Is it more of you can't fall asleep or you can't make it through the night with sleeping? Both? Okay. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Higher immunity. It's proven that people who have more stress in their life, they're more likely to get sick than people who have less stress or who know how to navigate stress better. And the last one is just a better outlook on life. We're going to end today with talking about gratitude and how important that is to maintaining a slide, that's fine. What I want you to do is think of the top 3 stressors that you have in your life. If you only have one, awesome, just write down one. But if you have more than one, write down the top 3 stressors in your life. Each one of those and think is it something that's in your control or is it something that's out of your control? So right next to each one, write in or out next to that stressor. So usually in most cases, a lot of the stressors in our life are things that are out of our control. For example, Parkway is a busy place to drive. You're driving down the parkway and you have some idiot that cuts you off on the parkway. That's no fun. And there's nothing you can do about it. It happened. There's no way you could have avoided that unless you were maybe a minute ahead of time or behind, but there's nothing you can do about it. So therefore, there's no use in getting stressed about something like that. So one good way to navigate that is those things that are out of your control. Pay attention to your reaction to those things. And I'll talk about this at the very end, but there's no such thing as stress. Stress is our reaction to the stressors in our life. So think about that for a minute. So no action or scenarios is really stressful. Our reaction to that stressor is really then what becomes stressful. So it's more of an internal kind of a thing. So take a mental note or write that down. That's one thing that really helps. So with stress management, it helps first to just do the brain dump. So what is it that is causing stress in my life? Again, is it something family oriented? Is it work life? Maybe it's school or whatever it may be. What is it that's causing stress? So brain dump. First thing is just writing it down. Obviously, you want to get from point A to point B, but when it comes to the grand scheme of things in life, is it really that important? So if it's something more important, like if it's something family-oriented, like something's not going right with family, obviously that might be a higher priority, so there's sometimes nothing you can do about it. So figure out where those stressors are on that priority list, and then kind of prioritize, is it something I really need to be focusing on, or is it something that I can just disregard altogether? Okay. Is there any perfectionists in the room? Oh, we got a couple few. I know I'm right there with you. So perfectionism has this little bit of a death grip on us. So putting too much pressure of expecting perfectionism from ourselves can cause this dangerous chronic stress. So wanting things to be perfect or trying to do things the right way all the time can really take a toll on us internally with stress. And it can also make us rebound in the opposite direction if we have a slip up with healthy eating or working out. So one thing we always teach with our clients at KW Fitness when it comes to nutrition is something called the 80-20 rule. Has anyone here ever heard of the 80-20 rule? Maybe one or two of you. Okay, so 80-20 rule applies to a lot of different things in life. But when it comes to nutrition, we apply it so that 80% of the time you're on track, you're doing well with your eating, you're eating the right good quality foods, the right portion sizes, and then 20% of the time, maybe you're off track a little bit. That doesn't mean you're way off on the deep end, binge eating or whatever, but you're off track a little bit, and you allow that. Because what happens if you're trying to be perfect all the time is when you have that little slip up, that's when the downward spiral starts to happen and you backtrack and backslide. So give yourself that 20%. If you want to be a little more strict on yourself, give yourself the 90-10 rule. So 10% of the time you're not on track, and then 90% of the time you're doing really well. So when it comes to eating, perfectionism can really have a death grip on ourselves, and that's where things can really go in the wrong direction instead of going in the right direction when we're trying to be perfect. So take mental breaks. One good thing to do is journaling, maybe in the evening, about your day. So giving yourself a mental break and just brain dumping about your day and maybe letting your stressors out on the paper. Slow down. We're in a really fast-paced world. Jobs are fast-paced. Everyone's trying to get from point A to point B as quick as they can. No one's taking their time. Everyone's speeding. Slow down every once in a while. Give yourself an opportunity. Slow down a little bit and put things into perspective.
All right, so I'm struggling what we're about to talk about right now because I see a lot of food in front of me and I'm super hungry. So I'm going to have to resist myself as I get my meal out there to not do what I'm about to tell you not to do. So is one mindful meal per day. So to kind of highlight some of the things on this is I always talk about what's the one food that we always go to when we're stressed.
Junk food.
Yeah, but what type of junk food?
Carbs.
Correct. A lot of sugar, a lot of carbs, we always resort to that. That's mindless eating. So that's kind of a different way to think of how we stress eat. So that's stress eating, but this is also mindful eating. So they kind of go hand in hand. So how Kevin was talking about, we're in a fast-paced world. We're constantly trying to consume the food, and we just don't even think about breathing during each bite, or even Kevin refers to even putting the fork down or the spoon down every time you take a bite. I know probably a lot of you, yeah, that's pretty good. So a lot of you, and myself included, you just get in that zone because we're always busy, we're always fast-paced. So a goal for one mindful meal per day is take your time. Just focus on maybe setting that fork down once in a while, taking a breath in between the bites, and not just scarfing it down. This will give you a good insight on how fast I used to eat. Whenever I would eat French fries, I would get a pain in my back because I would literally scarf down food as fast as I possibly could. I don't know if any of you experienced that, but it's a little weird. People look at me a little odd, like all of you are right now. But it's just strange because your body, you need to consume it, you need to chew your food, and really just have that mindful breath while you're eating as well. So mindful eating guidelines: 5 to 10 long, slow breaths before each meal. Serve all food pre-portioned. This is really big. Some of the people at KW Fitness do an awesome resort to fast food once in a while, or just instant gratification, pretty much, where you get those cravings, you want that food right away. And if we portioned our food out, if we prepared it for the week, we'd be less likely to do that. Long, slow breaths between each bite. We kind of talked about that. And then eat while sitting down. That's really good. When we're standing up, obviously our stomach is elongated a little bit more, so the brain waves aren't connecting to what your stomach is filling up. So if you're eating food really fast, or if you're standing up, your stomach doesn't send signals fast enough to your brain to tell it, oh, I'm hungry. So when we're sitting down, your stomach is obviously a little bit smaller, so it'll send signals faster, along with taking the slow, deep breaths. So if we're taking our time with eating, you're probably more likely to eat less food, but that's the correct amount of food. In America, we have a tendency to think big, like Texas Roadhouse, all those places, all their portion sizes are huge. And then, obviously, eat slowly.
Yeah. One thing to add to this is, I always forget who says the quote, but when you plan to fail, you fail, or when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So when it comes to your week, if you're not prepared ahead of time with good quality food choices in your home, so that means grocery shopping, and if you somehow manage to slip that bag of chips in your grocery bag and bring it home, you're probably going to be eating that. So it's good to prepare ahead of time for the week to have good quality food choices, so that way you do have good food that you're going to eat, and you're not going to resort to going out to fast food or finding something that's a quick fix and things like that.
Or come here.
Thank you. I was
Yeah.
going to add that.
Yeah.
Come here.
Or just go to CoreLife
Just
Eatery
go to
and
CoreLife.
all your worries are gone.
So this is one of my favorite slides. I've done yoga in the past, but this incorporates into our daily life, so breathing and meditation. We're going to do a couple exercises, so if you in our chairs, and I want you to put your hands right on your diaphragm, so right on your rib cage, okay? A lot of times the way we breathe is all with our chest, so this will be a typical breath. There's no expansion to anything. So what I want us to do is expand our diaphragm. So we want to inhale and really just keep breathing in. When you feel like you reach your capacity, try and go a little bit more, and then breathe out really, really slow. Now let's do that 2 more times. So feel your rib cage open up. Raise it up nice and high. And then when you reach that capacity, breathe it out nice and slow. So you're in control of your breath. One more time. Inhale. And then breathe out. So another way to breathe is with our belly. So like a next step for that, to get the full breath, is to breathe out with your stomach. So I'll try and see if you can see my belly here. You're going to go and up. So it's out with your belly. So you look, I probably don't look that pregnant, but you can push it out, and then you go towards your ribs. So I was able to learn how to control the diaphragm just from learning how to sing and stuff, because you learn that diaphragm to expand your rib cage. So if you incorporate those 2 things with your belly and your diaphragm, those are the type of breaths that will calm your heart rate down. If you have like a panic attack, if you're feeling shaky or weak or anything like that, like I was a few days ago, that can help calm you down. Those are the type of breaths that you should be taking when you're stressed out, when you're at work, or just taking a moment to calm yourself and not think about anything else, or when you're eating as well. So the last one is a little test to see where you guys are, okay? So it's just 1 minute of breathing. And what I want you to do, on how I explained, you inhale your full diaphragm, and when you inhale a little bit more. So when you feel like you reach your capacity, just take in a little bit more breath, and then breathe it out controlled. Don't just breathe it all out. Breathe out really, really slow. So what I'm going to have you do is close your eyes. Put your hands on your belly if it helps, or your heart, whatever you want to do. And I'm going to time us for a minute. Now I want everybody just to blow out all their air. And we're going to start the time right now, and just focus on your breath. That's it. Nothing else.
And count.
And count each breath. So your full inhale and your full exhale is 1. But just yell out your numbers. Kevin, you want to go first?
4.
Okay.
5.
Okay.
2.5.
Oh my goodness, he's got control. Go ahead. What'd you get, sir?
7.
Very good.
4. 3. 6. 4. 4. 3. 4.
We're going to have to create an award, because
This
that's
was good.
never happened ever. So usually, one time we got, I think, 30 breaths, something really
There's always
extremely
one in
high.
every room that
Yeah.
takes it as like, I got to do as many as I can in a minute.
Yeah.
This was the first.
Yeah, so that honestly is the first time we've ever had the average of 3 and 4. So they say if you're taking 3 to 5 breaths within that time, you do have control over your breath. And that's the kind of breathing that you need to have. Like 2.5, that's incredible. And that's to the point where you really are reaching that capacity. We all can do it. It's just a matter of practicing, reaching that structure of the muscle to expand the diaphragm and reach that point. So there's meditation options, so you can get apps that can help you with that, that can help you. Breathe through your nose and through your mouth as quick as you can, but only using your belly, not including your diaphragm. And that's a form of cardiovascular exercise. And you can use that as a type of exercise for meditation, just to release energy. There's guided meditations. One of my favorite books that covers a lot of what we're talking about is The Miracle Morning. That goes over a lot of steps that you can take in your morning before you even start the day to be able to set yourself up for success on whatever you're looking to succeed, having a good day at work, being less stressful, but also focusing on you and where you're centered and where your ambitions are, but also where your focus is. So it's a really good book to just put things in perspective. And I mean, yoga, Pilates, all that stuff, it's very good. They do a lot of mantra-based meditations that release a lot of negative energy and turn it into something positive. So,
is anybody here thinking of anything other than your breath while you're breathing? So yeah, one thing to think about when you are going through an exercise like that is to just focus on the actual breathing, like breathing in and breathing out. Just focus on the actual gesture of doing that and just forget about everything else. For a moment, you're not thinking of anything but the breath. And it's amazing what that can do for you. I don't know how you're feeling right now versus how you felt when you walked in, but hopefully it's a whole lot better after that little exercise. Sleep. So I asked in the beginning if anyone here struggles with sleep. Let me see the hands again. Has anyone here get 7 to 9 hours at all? There's a hand. Wow. Good amount actually. So that's awesome. You guys are all good students, good sleepers. So obviously there could be a lot of medical things going on if you're not getting the right amount of sleep, if you're waking up during the night, or if you're not getting the sleep and going to sleep right when you'd like to. But there's also some things that are in your control that you can do to help you be able to go to sleep and hopefully sleep through the whole night and get into that REM sleep that is really what you want to go for. So one of the things is devices. So I'm sure all of you have a TV in your house, right? Everyone has a TV. One place to not have the TV to think about is in your bedroom. So keeping your bedroom for just your bed and maybe your clothes, and taking the TV out and not having it on while you're trying to go to sleep and then turn it off when you're tired enough to close your eyes, because it gives off that blue light, which prohibits us from getting into that REM sleep or being able to fall asleep immediately. Also our cell phones. I'm definitely guilty of this as well. It's usually right next to my bed, and I know better. But a good thing to do with your cell phone is maybe put it on like your dresser or just outside your room, because it gives off those I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, they're just radio waves.
Just radio waves, and it does mess with you, even though you don't see it or hear it or feel it. It's still there. And then if you're looking at your phone just before you fall asleep, it's those same blue lights that come off of your TV. Or your iPad or tablet or computer, whatever you're looking at. So think about what your routine is like before you go to bed. Are you watching TV or looking right at your phone or a tablet and then going right to bed and you're not able to fall asleep? So if that's a scenario, maybe rethink about your devices and try and maybe set them aside a half an hour before you go to bed without looking at them. And again, 7 to 9 hours is really where you want to be. That's one good way to help you to get there. Again, sometimes it might be more medical that's preventing you, but optimally to help you with good overall health and good energy, it's amazing what a good night's sleep will do for you.
Do you mind if I
Yeah.
add to that? So just some of the some tips on sleeping. Does anybody have a trouble waking up? Where I mean, like cold winter nights, you want to bundle up in the comforter because it's a little cold in your room, the comforter feels great, you don't want to get up.
That's not fair though. I like that.
So maybe enjoyable, but there's the lack of sleep, but also the lack of getting up as well. That can be stressful. Your alarm goes off, you're pressing snooze 10 million times. And a great way, like Kevin said, is to put your phone across the room. So if that's your alarm system, you get up out of bed and you go turn it off. So it's just another way to also prevent that from disrupting your sleep, but also helping you get up in the morning as well. Also, anytime our body sees light, like right now, if I was to try and fall asleep, my body would think that I'm awake because light is hitting my skin. So when we do sleep, it's good to have complete darkness. night lights, stuff like that, it still disrupts our sleep because it's still touching our skin. It's our biggest organ, and it's smarter than we think it is. So try and have just in a dark room, you'll be able to reach that REM sleep a lot quicker, as well as turning off devices too.
Yeah, cool. I love doing this, by the way. Oh, no.
Oh.
Wait, watch it. Oh. All right, so this is one of my favorite things to talk about is just mindset and gratitude. It's amazing what a good mindset can do for your stress levels and for life in general. And this grateful and also stress at the same time. Yeah? Oh, man. It's really tough to feel grateful and stressed at the same time. I don't know. But what I'll have you do right now is, next to that slide, is just quickly jot down 3 things that you're grateful for. You don't have to share this with anybody. It could be anything. But just 3 things that you're grateful for. So this goes back to what I said earlier. Here's the quote. Makes sense. Yeah. So no event is truly stressful. I'm going to say this again. Our reaction to the event is what is stressful. So think about your mindset and your reaction to those stressors in your life. What is your immediate reaction? Are you reacting just so you can react in the moment, or are you taking a second to think about what's going on before you react to what the scenario or situation is? Whether, again, it's home life or if it's work. You know, again, back to the beginning, put things into perspective. Where is it on your priorities? Is it really that big of a deal? So you control how you react to any given situation. So no one has control over that other than you. You have total control over your thoughts, your ideas, your perspective on any given situation. And give yourself credit. This is the thing that a lot of us do not do, is to give ourselves more credit. So if you have a job, give yourself credit that you actually have a job. You know, if it's not going well, if there's a lot of stressors, you know, give yourself the credit that you actually have a job. Or if you're healthy and you're not really where you want to be in your journey of health and fitness, and you're like, oh, I want to lose this 20 pounds or whatever it is, and you're healthy, give yourself more credit that you're healthy. Or if you've started a journey of losing weight, which most of our clients are, and sometimes people do struggle, but they have made progress, give yourself more credit. Progress is progress. It's life, and we shouldn't be stressing over the little things in life. So being grateful is super important. So I challenge you, maybe just over like the next 30 days, once a day, take literally, I don't know how long it might have taken you now, like 5 seconds, and just jot down maybe if you have notes on your phone, just in your phone, jot down 3 things that you're grateful for. So again, it's really tough to be grateful and stressed at the same exact time. You guys are impressive if you can, but it just gets you in the right mindset so you can kind of, for a moment, forget about those stressors in your life. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I mean, journaling is definitely helped me with this, because I have a routine in the morning where I'll wake up and I try to roll out of bed on time and not snooze the alarm and stuff. But writing in the journal and just putting out what's on my mind, because I'm the type of person that will think constantly about, my wife says she would never want to live in my mind a day, and it's a struggle for me too. But it's just constant things just running through your head nonstop. So journaling helps you just put it all on the paper, and then it's awesome because then you can see where your path leads you, where your journey starts to begin, when you start letting go of things and starting to grow in other ways. So
yeah. And the last thing with the gratitude is just talk about, or just think about how you can put a positive spin on things and just be grateful for anything that might be going on. So if it's something stressful, try and find the positive in it. One of the best things you can honestly do is stay positive, and my wife, or anyone who knows me really well, is I'm one of the most positive and stress-free people, and sometimes it bugs people because I have almost no stress, but I'm always looking at the positive outlook. And that doesn't mean I'm not stressed at all, 100% of the time, but you always got to find the positive side of things. Like we just recently opened our second location in Syracuse, and a lot of challenges have happened in the last couple of weeks, but I'm just grateful that we have the opportunity and also the right staff to be able to do that. So it's always finding the positive side of things. And then again, giving yourself more credit. So if you're trying to be more healthy, if you're drinking more water than you used to, give yourself more credit. That's awesome. Or maybe it's just walking a couple times a week. Just doing those small things is really going to help and make a big impact on your overall health and well-being. And stress causes a lot of, it wreaks havoc on you. And if you can find little ways to navigate that stress, you'll find yourself being more healthy, having more energy, and having a better overall outlook on life. So again, find those little ways to reduce your stress, or to maybe altogether get rid of those stressful reactions that you have to things in life, so you can be more healthier and be around longer for the people who love you. And yeah, so but for now, what we're going to do is going to take any questions you guys might have. It could be stress related or health and wellness related or anything related. So yeah, we'll go from there. If there's no questions, we did a good job. Go ahead.
I don't really have a question, but when you were talking about mindful eating, and we were eating while we're doing this, just one thing I thought I'd mention that has helped me a lot is chewing, like when you take a mouthful. I mean, it sounded really foreign to me that you should chew your food 20 times in your mouth, especially if you're eating kale. But it really helps with the digestion and everything.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's very good.
I'd throw that in for the mindful eating.
Yeah.
And then I do have a question about the sleep. And it doesn't relate to me, it relates to my brother, but I shouldn't say anything like this. Does it matter, like, he sleeps in the daytime, finds that he's up a lot at night. Be nice
Does
to
he work
help
third
us
shift or?
No,
No?
he just says, I don't know, it's just, he doesn't work, he's retired, but it messes everything up for
Yeah, I
the
mean,
rest of the family.
I mean, honestly, everybody's body is different, so they can handle different things. Like some people can handle 4 hours of sleep, but probably shouldn't. I mean, there is like rules for a reason, but as long as I would say, as long as he is sleeping in a dark room, sleeping in the daytime would be all right. I mean, I wouldn't say it's recommended, but because he's not really getting like a full REM sleep. I mean, it's probably, there's a very slim chance of that.
Our body reacts to the time of day and sunlight. So like the less sunlight you have when you're falling asleep, the better your sleep is going to be. So it's really difficult to sleep during the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just have a question about what is the name of that book that you were talking about?
The Miracle Morning by
Hal
Elrod.
Hal Elrod. H-A-L
Dyslexia.
Elrod, E-L-R-O-D. Game changer for anybody.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah.
And it's on audio as well, so you can, if you're on the go, pop them in.
Just.
Tips for recognizing when you need to take the mindful steps. Because sometimes you get caught up in stress, and you're already so far in, and then you realize you need to take a step back. But how can you catch that earlier? How do you
It's tough, honestly, sometimes. Yeah, sometimes it's just life and you're just going with the flow, and then at some point you're like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? So it is tough, and everyone's different. So I don't know if there's any right or wrong answer to that. Sorry, that's not very helpful. But
No, I would say from my experience, like trying to balance 3 jobs, and you're just constantly going, like that's how my mind works. I would say, like, honestly, until you get to that point, you can't stop, because what you just experienced was growth. That's the way that I look at it, like that positive outlook almost, because whatever you experience from those stressful situations, and you're so far in, but now you can use that point to, you know, succeed to another point and then keep growing from that. Because I mean, I don't know where you're at with the stress, but I know when I get too far in, it's like, well, what did I learn from it? Instead of looking at it as I'm so deep in a negative way, you know?
I guess the only other thing is just journaling
Yeah.
and evaluating your day by day.
To piggyback off that too, the book, The Miracle Morning, that we were talking about, talks about how to, you feel like you have a lot going on. If you're not a morning person, it might not be fun, but waking up an hour earlier to get the journaling in, to move around and stuff like that,
Yeah.
it's really, really good.
Well, if there's no other questions, just to wrap it all up, again, my name is Kevin Webb. I'm the owner of KW Fitness. This is Brandon Baker. He's our corporate wellness manager. KW Fitness is Vestal's premier personal training studio here. We do one-on-one and semi-private personal training, as well as nutrition programs. We're, again, located on Old Vestal Road, right by Matthews Kia Subaru. We've been there for 3.5 years now, and we have a wicked awesome staff. And we have many, many success stories, and if you want to be one of them, you can chat with us afterwards. Just going to pass around one last sheet of paper. Or do you have it? Thought it was. If you want to hand this down the row. If it is something that you'd like to inquire with about our either exercise training programs or nutrition programs, just simply fill out the form. You can also request a free report from us, and we can send you some free information about exercise and nutrition as well. And if